Trump's personal lawyer, basically, like all lawyers do, rationalized Comey's statement to benefit Trump. Now, the average man with an average intelligence got to say, why the fuck did Trump send everybody out? Why did Trump ask Comey if he was going to stay on as FBI guy? And when Comey said, I want to stay on as FBI guy and finish out my maximum term, he said, can you see your way around, Flynn being a good guy? And so it's basically bribery. You can have your job if you crush this investigation. That's the way I read it. And also, it's obstruction of justice. So there's two federal crimes, two felonies that are being perpetrated by the President of the United States of America. And when Comey did not adhere, he was fired. Those are the facts. Those were the fucking facts. Now, I think he's the smoking gun, and I think he was very honest today. And both sides of the aisle find this man extremely credible. And the other thing that he said, which was unbelievable, was that he knew that Trump was not a truthful person. In the words he said, I can't quote exactly what he said, but he basically thought that Trump was not a truthful person. In my terms, that Trump's a fucking bullshitter. So I think that Trump, went from the fire into the oven by firing him. And I really don't think that the Republicans are going to let this go. Forget about the Democrats. It's all bullshit. It's the Republicans that Trump's got to worry about.
Frank,
so,
what's confusing
you guys can chime in.
Is how Comey, right man, and he does what he does. I think he handled it well today. How does he explain leaking very private and confidential?
It's not confidential. He's a private. This was the way it was explained by two top university professors and a former, a counsel to who was the guy who basically fried Richard Nixon, Dean, who's probably was one of the top. I don't know if he's still practicing. It was explained that he's a private citizen, and first of all, let me backtrack. And I don't know, the guy who leaked this information was not Comey today, it was Trump via tweets. It was Trump at one of the fucking many shows that he's done. This came out way before Comey.
He may have, but...
And what's going to be interesting, and what's going to make Trump look like a fucking idiot, like the many things that he's done with the birther thing, and the guys that he felt were guilty in Central Park, and all the bullshit that he says that he had proof, irrevocable truth, proof of that the elections were fucked and that he lost a lot of votes, never came out, never. That just disappeared. What's going to make Trump look like shit here, in my view, is that Trump says that there's a recording. They're going to subpoena that recording, and I can guarantee you there is no recording, or he would not have asked everybody to leave the room. He asked the Attorney General to leave the room so he could talk to an employee of the Attorney General.
Yes, and that's why
who does the director of the FBI answer to, guys?
And that's why the Attorney General and Trump have not spoken for a long time. That's Trump's doing.
Well, the rumor is, Billy, that he's going to resign. And by the way, Billy, good to hear your voice. The last time I saw you, we were breaking bread together, and I had a great night.
That was a wonderful evening, Frank. Thanks very much. I had a great 10 days. And
I enjoyed us hanging out. It was great. Billy, what I'm telling you, in my view, is Trump is done. And the more this gets opened up, do you believe, John Gallagher, that there is a tape of that conversation between Comey and the President of the United States, Donald Trump?
Frankie, I think everything's taped. I think he's got, just like, Nixon started. Hey, remember Kennedy? He had tapes. LBJ, they all had tapes. Everything that goes on.
So if he's got that
I'm saying yes, Frank. I'm saying yes.
Will he release it? Because if he releases it, that tape will destroy him.
That's a good question. It's obstruction of justice. The whole thing today.
It isn't obstruction of justice at all. It's completely not obstruction.
Yes, it is.
He's the president. He has presidential powers. to fire people, to stop investigations.
No. It's obstruction of justice.
Yes.
No, it isn't.
The director of the FBI, I hope you can find it and see it in your way to, let Flynn go and stop this.
And he never said it again. It was one time he said.
He never said it that way, Frank. He said, hopefully you can help him, or hopefully you can set it aside. He never.
He said, I hope you can find it in your way, right?
He didn't
find your way clear, right? Listen, that's obstruction of justice. I really don't give a fuck. And to me, if I was a prosecutor, I would also call it bribery, because he's basically telling them, if you want the fucking job, you need to fucking throw this in the garbage. So there's two elements there.
Right. Now, before the show started,
I think that's exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
The fact is, he's going to continue to say it for 4 years, so good luck to you and the Red Sox, too.
Well, there is no good luck to me. I don't need the luck. He needs the luck, because if they go for the impeachment, it will take, and you are correct, 2 to 3 years, and he'll finish his term out, and he'll golf on the backs of taxpayers and continue doing that.